The Ecology Centre houses the Nature Conservation Service, so the Nature Conservation team for the Council is based here. And the Ecology Centre itself is the base for where we run our education programme. So we work with virtually every primary school in the borough and sometimes secondary schools. And we work with children, young people, teaching programme at the Ecology Centre, which is one of the 3 nature reserves in London that the Nature Conservation Service manage. We also run events, adult education classes. It's also a kind of a community centre in the sense that it can be hired by the local community for private functions. It's often hired during the week by other relevant environmental organisations for their conferences or AGMs. BTCV hire it for a lot of their training. We have a midweek volunteer programme, so we have a lot of volunteers who come and work with us on practical conservation work. So the Ecology Centre as a building is like a visitor centre in some ways, but it's also simply the premises that house the Nature Conservation Service. We have a number of functions. One is to maintain and develop our 3 nature reserves. So that's Gillespie Park Nature Reserve, Barnsbury Wood and Park and Walk. We also have responsibility for developing other areas in the borough and managing them for nature conservation, such as the Regent's Canal, which we have managed on behalf of British Waterways in the past, and do specific nature conservation projects down there. We work with the public and with children to engage them in nature conservation, either directly, like with volunteers who can work with. We also provide a lot of advice for local residents in terms of wildlife gardening, sustainable practices that they can kind of do in their home and workplaces. We are the service that has developed Islington's Biodiversity Action Plan, so up until now we've been responsible for delivering on that. School grounds, helping schools to develop their school grounds in terms of nature conservation, specific species action plans, actually just finding ways of encouraging people to come into our nature reserves and finding ways of people to understand the importance of wildlife areas in the city.